My big concern is that people are avoiding gluten and they don't have celiac disease.
Right.
So then you would say, what's the problem with that? When you cut down on grains and you cut down on the oatmeals,
right,
and you're not eating bread, it is confirmed that you increase mortality and you increase the likelihood of you having a heart attack or experiencing colon cancer.
Colon cancer, yeah.
Because you're not eating a lot of those foods that used to be part of what we consumed,
right,
which played a big role in our microbiome,
right,
our immune system,
or just our intestinal health, all that.
Right. And the world is changing. You know, if you go back 50 years, yes, techniques have improved as far as how they can diagnose celiac. But looking at the data, celiac disease has increased 500% in the last 50 years.
500%?
Yes.
Jeez.
We are creating so much disruption. And think about it. You go back 30 years ago, you didn't have people walking around saying, I have fibromyalgia. You didn't have all these flare-ups and fogginess that's taking place, like brain fog and all these things.
That's a big one, the brain fog.
All of that goes back to the disruption that takes place in the microbiome. All of it. So to help people get it, and you can pull me back at any time, Barbara.
No,
or you can
good.
add, of course, because your insight is very valuable, and the story about your friend kind of perfect setup for what we're talking about. But if we looked at how we can help people, we got to look at these three things: prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. So what the hell are they?
Before, it's like
you start to see it like more and more. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it is everywhere. And I do get a lot of questions about, hey, should I be taking a probiotic? You probably get that question all the time too.
I have gotten, I'm enjoying, I have gotten that question for ever since I've been in this space.
Should I take a probiotic or something like that?
Yeah. And in the very beginning, well, many years ago, we had a product called a 6-day detox drop. Then there's a 12-day detox drop. But a lot of people over the years have used our detox. And I'll never forget when we were putting the detox together, the goal is to give the body a chance to like refresh, reboot.
Right, kind of like reset.
Reset.
Yeah.
Using all natural, great ingredients, giving them a nutrition plan. So the integrity of the Diet for Your Life method is still in place.
Right, you're still eating.
You're still eating.
Yes.
But it's called detox.
Yeah.
And in our literature, real small print, we encourage people to take a probiotic after they're done with the detox. Right? It's kind of like if you take the antibiotics.
Right, they tell
and you clean out some of the good, healthy bacteria, and you want to replenish it.
Right.
Right?
And that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
And fast forward 3 years ago, a study that you've read comes out, legit journal, and they looked at people taking a prebiotic, or not a prebiotic, antibiotic.
Antibiotic, yes.
They gave all the subjects antibiotics, and then after they were done with the antibiotics, they had one group take a probiotic, and then the other group didn't take a probiotic, like a supplement. The people who did not take the probiotic had faster recovery with their gut than the people who took the probiotic.
Interesting. So
everything we've been told about probiotics after antibiotics is not true.
Right. That study was mind blowing again. Just like
and you know, when I shared that with the coaches, I don't think they really are paying attention to what that is saying. Yeah.
Because I mean, you just said that was something that we just kind of knew. It was almost like tribal knowledge, as far as, hey, if you take antibiotics, make sure you eat yogurt, get some probiotics in there, whatever it may be, at the same time. And it's not so good. Yeah.
It's not true. And so if anyone, catches this show, we'll make the link to that study. We'll put it in the comments. But that right there should make the whole country stop.
Right.
Listen and go, okay, what did you just say?
Like, what the hell?
I said that when you take antibiotics, it's not to your benefit to take a probiotic after you have taken antibiotics. If you want to get your gut healthier faster, then you eat
Right,
regular food.
Regular food.
And it will
Switch it up.
repopulate that microbiome faster, which means your immune system is stronger faster.
Right.
Ah.
I know. Faster. No, it's true though that it's just that study was so for me it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
And so much good information to share with our listeners and my clients, and answering that question of just overly, or the repeated question of probiotics and which ones
and
which one to take.
And here's the thing that just blows my mind, and it bothered me when I first saw that study. It's all the people that I have told over the years to take a probiotic after they take antibiotics. I gave them wrong information.
Right.
Now, hopefully no one died. We'll never know. But it was the norm, what everyone is
like I said,
saying.
It was. It really was.
So what do you do? Well, it goes back to the number one way of eating to help with preventing heart disease, the number one way of eating to help prevent colon cancer, the number one way of eating to improve your gut so you don't have as much inflammation and you don't have like all of this swelling and bloating and brain fog.
Yeah.
What is that? Well, it helps to know what a prebiotic is. Saying it again, people.
Prebiotic.
'Cause I'm about to preach. A prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic.
Postbiotic.
Okay, so
a new one.
I don't want you to be you. I want you to be the people, most people who are watching.
Yeah.
So think of one of your clients who doesn't have the nutrition knowledge that you have. And I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
And just answer how you believe they may answer.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with a postbiotic or probiotic. Sorry.
Okay. Probiotic.
So that's the one that everyone thinks of yogurt. They think of kefir. They think of, eating fermented foods. Probiotic.
Yeah.
So if I came to you and I said, "Hey, what's a probiotic?" and do you take them?
I think most people would answer. They wouldn't really know what a probiotic is. They might be able to answer generally like, "Oh, I think those are some of the foods that are out there," like you said, some of the fermented foods. But they wouldn't have a good understanding of what the heck it is.
So we're going to set the stage. A probiotic literally means for biotic, life.
For life.
So it's for life. It is a live bacteria that lives inside your microbiome, your intestinal tract.
Yes.
And it's all over us, right? But for the most part, we're talking inside.
Yeah.
So it's live bacteria.
Yes.
So when you make, say kefir or miso soup or cabbage that turns into kimchi, right?
Right. That's the word I was looking for, kimchi.
What's the sauerkraut? That's all fermented.
Right.
Right. So there's live bacteria in there that resembles, close to, or is the same as the bacteria that we have inside.
In the gut, yeah.
So the way I teach my kids about this, I go live plus live helps you thrive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I like that. And that's a really good idea, because I think people have a hard time seeing the fact that some of their foods have this good bacteria in them, right?
Right.
They're just thinking like that bacteria is like, you don't want that, but there's actual good bacteria.
Well, that's how they, they made it possible to make it through winters, right?
Yeah.
Is they discovered how to ferment food in a way that, when they didn't have access to food, they could go and open up that jar or dig up under certain things. And
it wasn't rotten.
And there it was. Right?
Right, yeah.
So think of, your probiotic is live bacteria.
Right.
Now, you can eat probiotics like kimchi and all these things, or you can get a supplement. Unfortunately, we don't know what's really in the supplement. We don't.
Right.
So I'm not counting on a supplement for my live bacteria in my gut.
Right. Better off just eating.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have access to fermented foods, think about it, because not everyone ate kimchi.
Nope.
Not everyone ate,
sauerkraut.
If you don't have access to eating those things, I can get how the average person would go, okay, take a probiotic. And there's nothing wrong with taking a probiotic. Right. I'm not against that at all. I have many clients who take probiotics daily. But I also make sure they understand the importance of how you get your probiotic to thrive without taking a supplement and without eating fermented food.
Right.
So if I said, Barbara, do you know how to get your healthy gut bacteria to thrive without eating fermented food or taking a probiotic supplement? What would Barbara say?
What would I say?
Yes.
I would say eat a variety of vegetables and fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if it's not Barbara?
Oh, if it's not Barbara?
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, they would say, I really don't know. Help me. I don't know.
So you want to feed your probiotics. You want to feed your healthy gut bacteria.
Yeah.
And you do that with prebiotics.
Prebiotics. So that's one for sure. I know a lot of people don't know what that is.
So prebiotics are certain fibers, and if you're eating a variety of fruit and vegetables, you're getting that, right? Like a banana has inulin in it, which is a dietary fiber that can make its way all the way through the stomach, all the way through the small intestine, get to the large intestine, and it kind of digs in there, and then your gut bacteria takes that and starts chewing on it and just eating,
and it's happy.
Yes. And it then helps create a whole bunch of healthy stuff inside of the gut, and that impacts other areas of the body.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So prebiotics feed the probiotic.
You guys got that?
And then the probiotic with the prebiotic create the postbiotic.
That's a new one. Postbiotic.
So you don't take a supplement that's a postbiotic. A postbiotic comes about once the prebiotic gets in there with the probiotic, and then they create this postbiotic, which is called short chain fatty acids. And one of the short chain fatty acids, and they study a lot of them, is butyrate. That fatty acid helps with Alzheimer's. It helps prevent colon cancer. It helps with reversing type 2 diabetes. It helps people tighten up their guts so they don't have what people call leaky gut and all the negatives that go with that.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't follow that chain, if you're not getting the fruits and the vegetables to get inside to the colon to then create these short chain fatty acids,
right,
then you lose out on a whole bunch.
Right. So you're creating all these gaps in our natural system.
Yep. And so think about the person who's avoiding gluten, but they don't have celiac. They're also avoiding resistant starch, which is very, it's like a prebiotic itself, right? So if I eat a white potato, then that white potato has resistant starch in it. And that's going to get into my gut, and it's going to help me create more short chain fatty acids. It's a win-win.
Yeah. See, people just don't even realize that they're thinking they're doing something good. They're trying to lose weight, or they're whatever it is they're trying to lose weight, or maybe they think they have celiac disease and they don't, and they're thinking that they're doing the right thing, and they're actually creating more problems.
Yes, and it's like a lot of people who think of all the people who avoid the white potato. They avoid the grains. They avoid the barley. They're not eating the bread, right? Sourdough bread also has resistant starch. So by eating that, it's good on the blood sugar and it's good on your gut bacteria. But you're avoiding it. You're not eating all these things that creates this culture inside of us that helps us be healthy.
Right.
So why am I avoiding the things that are helping me, that are 100% associated with and are part of the causation for heart disease and a lot of the challenges that people experience?
Yeah.
I
think that's the danger of when you get a little bit of information.
I should eat every time we do a show.
I know, right? I'm going to start. Looks so good. But that's the danger, I believe, of getting a little bit of information and just, misapplying it. That's not a good word, but, misdiagnosing or trying to diagnose yourself with something with just a little bit of information, and it does more harm than good. People think that, I should do that. So-and-so lost so much weight by avoiding all carbs, and maybe that's because I have celiac disease too. Maybe I should do it too and drop that weight. And they're thinking, they're doing the right thing. And just that little bit of information is doing so much more damage than they even realize.
Right. They have no idea.
And I would have to say, most, if not every single one of my clients, when they come in, they do have this preconceived notion of carbs just in general are bad. And when I ask them about, when I kind of quiz them, I think, when you eat healthy, what does that kind of look like to you at the very start? And majority of the time, They always just say that basically they're eating without carbs. That's their idea of healthy.
Now, can you lose weight doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you restrict the fruits and vegetables, you have set yourself up for all those other problems.
Yep. And what's even, I think, the deal breaker for them once they realize what they're doing is the fact that it's not sustainable, just as a lifestyle, that they can do that for a short amount of time. They can cut certain, food groups out for whatever, a month, some short term. And but once they go back to how they really enjoy living and the foods that they really like to eat, they gain it all back.
Yep.
Because they still don't know. Because they still don't know if they're after doing that type of a diet, they still don't know how to eat the way or eat the foods that they like to eat, but in a way that they can optimize for their own health.
Exactly.
So, right.
Which is variety. So the one thing that we know in the space of your immune system, your microbiome,
Yeah.
is that the more diverse it is, the healthier you are.
Yeah.
And the only way it can be diverse is if you take in a diversity or a variety of different foods that are fruits and vegetables. Then it becomes more diverse. Like in the States, we have women consuming. The goal is getting them to do 25 grams of dietary fiber a day, men up to like 38, I think, grams. And there's countries where people have amazingly beautiful microbiomes, and they're consuming 100 grams of dietary fiber a day.
Wow.
And they're out on the mist, right? Because you pick up a lot of this health by being in nature and being around people. Now we are in a culture where people are avoiding fruits and vegetables.
Yep.
They're avoiding like all these things that would be helping them. And we wonder why more and more and more people have these autoimmune challenges. And what I'm seeing with clients in the last couple of months is like I have, let's say out of 100 people, around 5 to 7% of the people in the first 28 days are dropping about 5 inches off their waist.
Wow.
Dee Dee's one of them. Okay. So there are 7 right now that come to mind, 5 inches. There's a lot of them, 4 inches, 2, 3. Everybody's dropping inches in the waist.
My latest, or actually my newest carb threshold client, after a week, her waist had gone down an inch. And she even said that she got out of bed and, when she got up and saw herself in the mirror, she thought, I look different after a week.
See, that's good. Because, you have that moment when you look in the mirror one day.
Yeah.
And you see your parents.
You're like, damn it.